and then came back. Took a
LSU?
The LSU.
Okay.
Louisiana State University. And
The one Jew.
Is that right?
yeah.
I was like, hey, don't mention. You don't need to tell people you're Jewish.
I mean, good. This is also the year before the Orange Man ran
Hey,
for
it's
president.
the
Yeah.
LSU.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, by the way, you're going to be an undercover Jew here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. When someone
absolutely.
says dirty
This
Jew,
is where you need to worry about how you dress.
yeah. Hey, by the way,
Undercover for this right here.
when someone says dirty Jew, just agree with them. Be like, that's right, they are.
Yep.
Let me get out of here.
Yep.
Throw something back on
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Monty Grobbers. Throw that on. Yeah. Hurry the fuck up.
Oh my god. And so came back from LSU, took a semester off, worked for a semester, and then I told myself I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life if I don't go to school. Went to community college, one right in the valley, right near where we lived, and I was there for what, a month and a half, maybe.
Probably.
Not. It was a midterm. Midterm had showed up, and I was sitting in a math midterm. I'm looking at it, put my name down, I fill out half the first problem, and I thought to myself, and I sat back in my chair. I said, "What the fuck am I doing here? Why am I sitting in this math class again? Like I hate this. Like what? I can't do it anymore." Packed up my stuff, walked up to the teacher, and I handed him my test. It's been 25 minutes since the test started. And he looks at me and goes, he does a double take, triple take. He's like flipping through the pages. Like, is this a fucking joke? Like, you did half the first problem. And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, I'm not coming back." And he said, "What?" And like the whole class stopped too. Everybody looked up because I was fucking dead silent. And I go, "Oh, I'm not coming back. Like, nothing against you or anybody here. School's just not for me. I'm going to do what I want to do." And I looked at my class. I turned around, peace, and I walked out. And I never looked back. And I called him as I walked out. I'm in the hallway, and he picks up the phone and he goes, "Hey man." I'm like, "What's up?" And he goes, "Wait, aren't you supposed to be taking a math test right now?" And I go, "Yeah, man, fuck that. I'm out. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. If I gotta sit through one more lecture, one more essay, one more fucking math midterm, I'm going to lose my shit." And I said, I was already working at a place called The Counter, which was a burger place.
Yeah.
Love that spot. And I was like, I'm gonna get a second job, and I'm gonna start doing PA work on the side. And that was 6 years ago.
Can I tell you, a couple things struck me when I got that phone call. One, I wish at that age I would have had the balls to do something like that for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it took me to be a lot older to be like, I don't
To not
want
be so scared.
I don't want to do this, so I'm not gonna. Like, it takes people a long time to figure that out, right? You say yes to a lot of dumb shit, right? He was like, "Yeah, that's it." And so it struck me. I was like, well, this dude, I was so proud of the fact that he had that. Yeah. And then for him to be like, to go and get that second job,
Which was Jersey Mike's.
yeah, I had no questions after that. He clearly knew what he didn't want to do. So cool. Now let's get started on what you do want to do. And he really, the work ethic has been really. Do you know when I told him he had to move out? So he comes back.
You told him he had to?
Yeah.
Why?
Because here's the deal. If you're in college and you come home, yeah, man, you got a place. If you're a grown-up in the workforce, well, those people don't live in my house. And he wanted to be a grown-up in the workforce, well, then you got to go do that, you know?
How'd you feel about that? Were you ready?
I think it was definitely time for me to get out. The one semester of college for me was nice to have my own space, and it was definitely time for me to go, I definitely don't want to live in the house anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, yeah, really, man? Like, that was kind of quick.
Here's the thing. I knew that it was going, especially for him, it was going to be good for him. But
Right.
There's no way you're going to convince somebody who's living at their parents' house that out there is better. It's just not.
No, not in this city.
Not in this, right? And
Expensive ass
especially not
city.
right now.
Yeah,
Fuck
right.
that.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck
and this
that.
was a couple years back, but I was like, get out there. And do you remember the video you sent me?
Yeah, the very first day I was living on my own. I went grocery shop, or they went grocery shopping with me and just grabbed some stuff. And I remember taking a video and pouring my milk into my cereal, and then pouring a beer into my bong, taking a bong rip and drinking the fucking beer out of the bong after, and eating sugar cereal. And I said, you know what, man? That's what it's like to live in my house. I get sugar cereal if I fucking want.
Yeah, that
Because
was the first
wouldn't
video.
He
And I
wouldn't let
was
me
like,
eat
yeah.
any sugar cereal in the house growing up. So no soda,
Ever?
no sugar cereal.
Wow.
No, there was never anything that was like,
It
there was like
the
ice cream sandwiches.
biggest candy drawer you've ever seen.
Oh, the candy drawer. It's Halloween candy from God knows how
The
long.
80s.
Yeah, but it's like every
No,
year.
we would. That's not true. Your mom used to redo the candy drawer all the time.
To me, it just felt like the same Halloween candy, just like our leftover Halloween candy from that year. And when it ran out, luckily it was a couple months before Halloween, so we're like, all right, we just get to fill that back up again.
No, we
Shit.
didn't. I didn't grow up like that with sugar cereal and all that stuff, and I didn't have any soda in the house or anything like that.
No, that was the way it was. We didn't have a microwave for fucking 8 years.
Well, that was your mom.
Right, but that's my point. My point. This is the, we didn't have we had to, and then when we got it, we had to put it in the garage.
Yeah.
She didn't want it in the kitchen.
Why? She worried or
She
she just like, we're cooking.
she just doesn't. She's like, look, none of that extra. If whatever that's cooking is cooking me too.
Yeah.
So put it outside.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
I would go out to my garage
yeah,
and
man.
microwave
It-
some pizza or
If I
something.
had a
Yeah.
there was
Yeah,
a beer
man.
fridge out
yeah,
there.
fuck yeah. That's
Come
why
on.
I'd smoke and eat my shit.
Man, I went 8 years without a microwave.
We don't come inside anymore.
Yeah.
TV's in here. Yeah, the microwave's out here.
Yeah, exactly. I got a little futon out here.
Yeah. The minute she told us we were
Yeah.
getting a microwave
Hey,
again, I
can
was
you
like,
knock before you come out here?
yeah.
Hey, by the way, what age were you cognizant of me? I wanted to use that word in this.
Good job.
Thanks.
You got it in.
Of me smoking weed.
I think that time we were walking rock, and I told you that we were walking the dog. And
How old are you?
16?
Okay.
Probably 16. We're walking the dog, and we're out. It's probably like 9:30 or 10, and we're out walking. And I decide, this is a great time for me to tell my dad that I started smoking weed a little while ago, because I tell him everything, and it's just we have a good relationship, and I think that this is appropriate, and I don't want to do it in front of both of them. I want to do it in front of one of them and see how they react instead of getting all of the fire at once in case it was bad. So we're out walking, and I'm like, hey man, so I don't know, I think this might be a good time to tell you that I started smoking weed a little while ago. And he goes, okay. And I go, okay. He goes, yeah, can we just not do this though while I'm super fucking high? Can we talk about this tomorrow?
Can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm pretty high.
Yeah, it was
So you
super.
were more lenient on marijuana than sugar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was. Here's what I was. Well, by the way, I still am. Like I smoke weed. I would tell you right now, sugar's worse for you than weed.
Yeah.
I agree. I do,
Absolutely. I think that's.
Yeah.
I think that's proven.
But also for me, and I told him this, I would prefer you didn't drink or smoke. I would prefer that. But I also told him, I live in reality. I don't live in ideal world where you're just gonna be perfect until so. My thing was like, there's zero excuse for you to ever being in a car with someone who's drunk.
Yeah.
With Uber, and I was like, this is the money for Uber whenever you need it. Zero excuse.
Yeah.
If I find that shit out. And I would just tell him also, he would ask me questions. There was never any booze in the house because mom drank, biological. So I was like, we're not going to do that here. And Beth's not a drinker and I'm not a drinker. But as he got older, he saw that I smoke. I mean, it's hard to miss that I smoke.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
When you, by the way, even when I didn't, and when I told you I was going for a walk, and I was like, "Yo, I'm going to 7-Eleven," and I think we had like a small telekinetic thing early on, because when I was like, "Yo, I'm going for a walk," he'd be in the dark in his room, and my mom and him were watching TV, and all I hear is, "Get me some cookies," just from the fucking bed, and I was like, "Yeah, you got it." Like in my head, and I walk out, and I go, "What a fucking high ass!" Like, are you serious? Just screaming from it. And then he texts me, and he would text me and also go, "And a couple bags of Swedish fish." And then I get 7 texts on the 5-minute walk to 7-Eleven.
Nutter butters. Your mom wants nutter butters.
Do you remember 37 things that he wanted? It was fucking ridiculous.
Do you remember when I was super high in my room and I just texted you, make me a sandwich? And you were like, what? I could hear him screaming from the other, what? What are you saying? I'm like, make me a sandwich.
I remember one time you poked your head out and you were like, "Yeah, I'm too high. I'm just going to sit in here for a little bit. Bring me these 4 things and don't come the fuck in. I'll talk to you later."
Yeah, it
And I
was,
was like, "What?"
There were some high nights. But when he got older, for me, it was, I'm not going to, I can't be who I am in public and then deny it in private. Do you know what I mean? There was just no way that could happen. So...
Yeah, I've seen my share of the clean comedians who then, I'm like, you fucking smoke weed and drink and fist fight and shit? But you're up there with all your G-rated shit, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. I am who I am.
I am who I am. And so I never put a good or bad on who you are. This is just who I am.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I don't judge. But
yeah, and how, and like, for me, it was like, instead of like hiding the weed, basically you saw me never even. I don't touch weed before 8 p.m. When he asked me about it, I was like, yeah, I do my work. It's like a glass of wine for me. And if I don't do my work, I don't smoke the weed. That's what it is for me.
It's a reward.
Yep, and it's like the glass of wine. And so, that's why I told him.
The only green that comes first is money.
Yeah.
If anything gets in your way of making that, it's a fucking problem.
That's wrong. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so, yeah, man. But I will say also, like, his willingness to talk to me about, like, I told you the taking acid story where he told me.
I don't remember.
I said to him, I go, hey man, and I was looking for some new stage stories. I go, what else you got? What can you tell me that I don't know? And he was like, did I ever tell you that story about when you and mom were out of town and I took acid with a bunch of friends? I'm like, no. And he goes, okay.
Do you still have to talk in the voice while I'm right here? Like, do you still have
right
to fucking
there.
imitate me while I'm right here? If you
It's
want me
just
to tell
natural.
it, I'll tell the story in
Yeah.
my fucking voice.
You're the
and
guest.
and not have you
This
go,
is the sidekick
into
over
the
here.
fucking
Let
mic
him,
the
let
whole
him
time.
tell his version of this story. And imitate him.
Oh no! Yeah, I would like
The
to.
only imitation I have of him is me screaming into the mic because that's what he sounds like when he laughs. Example A. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I remember one night, me and a bunch of friends got some really interesting stuff from our guy. I remember this was the night that we went to his house, and this is the first time I'd ever seen like the acid in a liquid form. I only ever got in the tabs or all that. I'd never seen it in the liquid form that you can put on whatever you want. So we walked in and he had Altoids for us, 6 of them, and he double dosed a couple of them, gave them to him. And just also side note, this other guy came in and bought 2 Sour Patch Kids with the same thing, and then he was like, hey, can I get a roadie? And I was like, how do you get a roadie of acid? This dude stuck out his tongue, and this dude dropped 4 drops on his tongue, and I was like, my man, are you gonna get home? And he goes, I'm 20 minutes away, we'll find out. And I was like, oh my
He's about to go to another dimension.
fucking
Fuck home.
God.
He's about to go to another dimension, bro.
He already looked ripped out of his mind when he walked in the door anyways, and I was like, good luck to you, man. Holy shit, I'm not gonna do that. But
a roadie, 4 drops of acid.
I was
it's
like,
That ain't a roadie.
That's spacey.
Yeah, what kind of
that's
fucking
another
roadie
gallon.
is
That's
that?
a different planet.
That's a gallon.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Never in my right mind would I do that. But then we head back, and there's probably 3 of us. And the night goes on. I had like a couple naps here and there, but pretty much I was up for about 52 hours straight. I had a concert on that Saturday, too, that I went to on the tail end of it. That was,
I gotta tell you.
was ridiculous. But I remember kind of going to sleep for a little bit on Friday night, waking up that next morning. For some reason, there was a pizza guy from Domino's sitting in the living room, and I was like,
Still there.
Just sitting there.
he was he had just like woken up, and I was like, hey man,
He woke up.
yeah, I was like,
Wait, the pizza guy.
the pizza guy spent the night, and so I'm talking to him, and I go, man, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here?
All those other pizzas. Were
And he goes, well, we partied last night, right? And I go, you weren't on acid. And he goes, no, just you 3. And I go, all right, okay, good, because I don't want to be responsible for that shit. And he goes, and I go, but also, thanks for not fucking the house. You gotta go. And he's like, what? I go, you're a fucking stranger in my house.
for real.
In my parents' house. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I thought you guys were cooler than that, this and that, this and that. And I was like,
What else did he want to do,
Yeah.
man? The party's
Yeah,
over,
you wanna
bro.
fucking-
Get the fuck back to Domino's.
you're the pizza man.
Yeah, fucking
Bounce.
right. And I was like, man, I don't know what you
I
want
thought you
from
were
me.
cooler than that.
Yeah.
He just spent all night with you.
Yeah, and I also
He's
looked
like,
at
I
him.
thought we was both Sagittarius, man. What the fuck's going on?
Remember that long talk we had last night?
Yeah.
No, dude, I do not.
And then I looked at him and I go, and by the way, you might want to go ask for your fucking job back.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
or go find another one. Like, good luck to you, man. It was fucking.
do you remember when you were okay? He was 13 or 14, and Beth and I. See, when you ground your kids, you're usually grounded. Beth and I had these plans, but he had done some shit, and I had to ground him. But Beth was like, "We're not canceling these plans," and I was like, oh. I think we were out of town.
Oh, was this? Was
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
was,
yeah.
This was 16, by the way. I was in high school.
Okay, so we're out of town, Beth and I got a text from a friend of mine, Tommy Pope, who's a comic in New York, and he goes, "Hey," I go, "Yeah," and he goes, when Instagram had like a front page, he goes, "Go on Instagram front page." I go, "Why?" He goes, "You might recognize somebody." So he was grounded, and the deal was, "Look, man, we're going out of town, but like I'm checking in. Your hair, my brother's gonna swing by. If you're not here when they swing by, you know, you're grounded. Because he had been grounded for an entire summer before. He came home from school, put his book bag down, walked into his room, and didn't come out until fucking September. So he knows that, like, when we say don't, or you get in trouble.
Don't.
This is like being at mom's.
Yeah.
I'll be Karen's.
So he goes, here he is, Lil Jon,
Lil Jon's kid.
Lil Jon's kid.
went to my high school.
and had a
Lil
16th.
Lil Jon?
Lil Jon. Lil Jon Jr.
Lil Jon Jr.
Yeah, Lil Jon Jr.
You want to know what his actual
Yeah.
name was though?
Uh.
His name is Slade.
So Slade.
Cool
Yo,
name.
That is a
front
good
page Instagram. This kid at Lil Jon Jr.'s birthday party,
Grounded?
holding up his phone. Hey,
At-
dancing around.
At OHM nightclub in Hollywood.
This dude, he
What
drove
a
my
time,
car
yeah.
there.
You would never get caught in the 80s or
This
some
dude,
shit like
this
that.
dude, he got in my. I go, how'd you get there? He goes, I drove your car. I'm like, you took my car? He was like, yeah. How else was I supposed to get there? I'm like, you weren't supposed to get there. You were grounded. He was like, yeah, I was willing to take the risk on this one. And he did.
Worth it. Very worth it. Whole lot
Yeah.
of fun. I was there for a good portion of time, and it was so
honestly, if Tommy hadn't called, you'd have got away with it.
Yeah.
much fun. And guess what? I still got away with it. You know why? Because I still went to the party.
He did. He went. He
Doesn't
got away
matter.
with it. You
Didn't get-
found out.
Yeah,
He got away with it.
You found
though.
out after the fact I had
Yeah.
posted it, which means I already won because I was already at the fucking party.
I mean,
It didn't matter what happened after. I succeeded with the
He is
mission.
right about that.
I don't like
The
the way this
outcome didn't
conversation's
matter.
going.
He's right about that, though.
The outcome,
He did get
the
away
outcome
with
didn't
it.
matter. The mission was successful. Whatever came after and repercussions, I was willing to deal with.
Ryan, do you know what he said to me the other day? He was like, hey, we were talking about money. I go, and I gave him a whole money talk. He goes, you giving me a money talk? And I go, yeah. And he goes, all your jokes are about me. I'm the indirect breadwinner of this family.
That's the truth. Dude. You should be getting a
Facts.
Indirect
You
breadwinner. I was
should.
like, all right, dude.
Yeah, directly out of my ball bag, motherfucker. Okay. All right, I want to wrap this up, but I want to ask a couple of questions. So, first of all, I got a little extra love for single parents, not just single dads, but moms too. Anybody that's out there doing it and really putting it all in, you know, I got a special love for you for that. So,
Thank
you're welcome. You've done obviously a great job. You guys seem super close. And obviously, also, it wasn't always time to roll out.
So for me, you know, a lot of people.
None of this gives you reservations about being parent. You'd rather be and embrace the way your father did, with all the hardships and everything, than be the way your mom did. I'm sorry, your biological.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to take what I learned from both sides. Take what I learned from what not to fucking do. And I want to take what I learned from him and my mom and know what to do. And go and do that.
So I asked everyone.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
I didn't tell you this in the top. Sure, something. So I always ask advice. Everyone will get to their 16-year-old self. That's only 8 years ago for you. So I'm curious if you think back on what you did, like, specifically
We've
around
lost some
that time.
ammo, but at least it didn't
What
explode.
advice 8 years later?
Penetration.
Because I'm gonna bet my ass 8 years from now, it's not the same thing you would have told.
I'll probably stop taking that so serious. Because at 16, I still was very, you know, I cared about and what people thought, and it was very detrimental to me. When I asked
We're
what
done
the
for.
fuck is this and
Everyone
that,
get out.
honestly, half the time I would get girls that would answer just to see if I would do whatever the fuck they said. And he told me shit that was false.
You talking about girls you were dating?
No, girls I was just trying to get to know. Like girls, like what type of guy you looking for? Like that basic. What do you look for in a guy? Just kind of like.
And they would tell you to
flirt.
try to get you to cut your hair or do something.
Yeah, and just like trying to get me to change to fit a certain persona, like that Vine kid, or like all those things back in the day. Or those
This doesn't
kids.
even exist anymore.
Exactly, and all the shirtless kids with abs and do all this and
The
be this,
Abercrombie
yeah,
model
be
is-
be
yeah.
athletic and like all these higher standards. And then for me, I would just tell myself, yo, don't care so much about what other people think. You guys just got to start being yourself.
You do, and you got to be the best version of yourself because no
100%.
matter what, if you had an ass on your fucking shoulder, that's somebody's shit out there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out there is like, that's my shit. You know
Is
what
that
I mean?
ass on your shoulder?
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Absolutely,
It doesn't matter what you got.
Yeah.
It is somebody's shit out there.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, thank you both. Thank you for coming on. Promote.
And how many words safe in your lies, but can't ignore it all. You want it all, right?
Stop your advance.
10 times we've gone down that
We didn't penetrate their armor.
I drew a line in the center road. Somebody man to
Penetration.
down like it's yours.
Didn't penetrate their bailout. This vehicle is had it. We've lost the track. Big Mike. When I met him, he was just a kid, and he was a great kid. We laughed our asses off on that set. He ain't lying. We had a very good time on that set. It was very enjoyable. David Chase was a pleasure to.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
I told you about the mountain lion that Colton and I saw in Utah.
No, but you didn't. But I heard.
didn't?
No, I heard you talking to Ranella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
It was giant.
You said it was huge, and you
It
were
was
in the
huge.
truck.
Oh my God, I was scared in the truck. It was like a giant pumpkin head. It was huge. It was a 170 plus pound cat, like big cat.
I've never seen one there, but they're there.
I've only seen a little one, like a 60, 70 pound one running across the street in Santa Barbara, and then one in Colorado I saw in the woods, like a glimpse, quick glimpse. Might have even been a bobcat, honestly. The one in Colorado was so quick. The one in Santa Barbara was definitely a mountain lion because of the tail.
Yeah.
But this one was unmistakable. This was 30 yards away, underneath a tree, in like at 7 p.m. light. So it was like just starting to get dark, but I was looking at him through the binos.
That was this year?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. We were both freaking out. He was so
He
big.
just crouched down there.
His head was so huge. It was a big Tom, man.
Yeah.
Giant paws. His forearms freaked me out. The forearms were like my legs, man. Like big, thick ass forearms.
You got to kill shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Rough.
Oh, God. Meeting one of those fucking things in the woods would be terrifying. After doing that, it makes me want to carry a gun.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're in a situation like that, have you seen that video where that guy had to shoot that cat?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That was intense.
That's intense.
I know.
Where he's like, no, get out of here. Get out of here. And the thing's just looking at him
Yeah.
like, I think I'm going to eat you.
I know.
And if he didn't have a gun, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know if he was bow hunting or what kind of hunting that guy was doing.
I'm not sure. I saw that clip, though.
He didn't feel comfortable enough to draw his bow, if he did have a bow. You know? Be
Yeah.
shaking and shit, holding it full draw.
Those things are so strong. I mean, all animals, even bear.
Yeah.
You know, you look at bear forearms.
Oh, they're massive.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that video. There's one video of you in Alberta with that one bear that you shot, and as it runs, like after the arrow hits it, it runs. You're like, whoa!
Yeah.
I did not know they could run that fast.
That was 7 yards, and it closed that distance in
A second.
maybe.
It was crazy.
It was intense.
You think because normally they're kind of lumbering, you know, they're like they're kind of slow. I
Yeah.
guess they're conserving energy
Yeah.
because when they want to go,
When they can explode, they can explode.
it's weird to watch. It's like because you don't think something that big can move that fast.
No, they're amazing. But those wild animals who, you know, especially cats, I mean, they got to be predators, so they got to kill with their face, you know, as you've talked about. But bear too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, incredible.
It's a wild world out there, mister.
It is.
It is. It really is. So you're just back from Colorado.
Yeah.
You've had a wild season, man.
Yeah. It's been.
Is this your best season ever for bow hunting?
I don't know.
You got plenty of meat. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Giving a lot out to friends, huh?
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool because I take like I have these 2 coolers at work in the lunchroom, and I just take meat in there and fill up those coolers and say, you know, free meat, and people love it there because there's a lot of people who don't hunt, you know, have no interest in hunting, but they love eating elk and different things. I always ask where it's from. Sausage, hamburger, you know, anybody can use hamburger for tacos, spaghetti. So yeah, it goes quick, and I love giving it out.
Yeah, hamburger and spaghetti sauce. The ground elk in spaghetti sauce is amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I had some salami made out of the stuff that I got in Utah for the first time.
Oh.
It's out there right now. We have the commercial freezers at the studio.
Yeah.
I haven't had any of it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Pepperoni sticks. Yeah, pepperoni sticks off my Oregon Bowl, and oh my God, the best pepperoni sticks. You know, normally at the gas station you'll buy pepperoni sticks, and it's just they still taste good, and they're just shit meat. Who knows?
Right.
Probably off the floor. But so you put elk meat or pepperoni made out of elk meat. Oh God.
Yeah, it's sensational.
It's amazing.
It's the best food in the world, man.
Yep.
So what's been happening with you other than hunting? You got any wild races you're about to do?
No.
Are you laying off those for a while?
No,
No?
just hunting. I mean, that's all my, it's, I don't know. I think what I like, or my whole thing is, and you know this well, but I train for one reason, for bow hunting. And it's
Yeah.
like, I feel so lucky to have that purpose, because there's all sorts of advantages to working out and being in shape and being capable and healthy and everything else. But when you have a purpose, like I have a purpose, and other people have different purposes. But if I see people in the gym, like guys in the gym, and they're just training, I feel not bad, or I don't really know how I feel, but because if the goal is just to be big, or it just is not the same as having a purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm training for one thing, and so that right now this is my Super Bowl. You know what I mean? This is
hunting season.
All season, this is what it's for. So yeah, I'm just hunting right now.
Yeah, for a lot of fighters, they have a hard time training after they're done competing.
Right.
Like a lot of them get fat.
Yeah.
Because they're done, and so they don't have any reason to train hard.
They lost their purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of them just figure out a new way to fight. Like George St. Pierre is in as good a shape as he's ever been in.
Yeah.
Because he's essentially like a lifelong martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
And so his purpose is always to better himself. It's always
Yeah.
to be better than he was before. So like when George took all those years off and then came back and fought Michael Bisping,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's like, is he going to be rusty? Well, it turns out he's even better than he was before, which is
Yeah.
crazy. That's what he had said,
Mm-hmm.
but people always say that. I am better than I was before, but he actually was better.
Yeah.
He actually was.
Yeah. Well, he looked good against Bisbing.
He looked amazing against Bisping. So we're
Yeah.
headed to the fights this weekend.
Oh my God, I can't.
This episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Even if you have the healthiest diet imaginable, it's hard to give our body everything it needs, which is why I take Athletic Greens. Just one tasty scoop of AG1 contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. It's like taking a multivitamin, probiotic, greens, superfood, and more in one convenient daily serving. It fills the gaps in your diet, supports energy, helps with gut health, and can replace all those pills. AG1 always follows the latest research. They invest in high-quality ingredient sources and go beyond third-party testing to ensure their customers get the very best. Join the movement of people taking ownership of their daily health and focusing on nutritional products they really need in the simplest manner possible. And when you go to athleticgreens.com/Rogan today, you'll get 1 free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com/Rogan. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. In all these months where everything is open, I've gone out to live shows again, in the movies, in the gym, and one thing I've noticed about all these places, they were hiring. With everything opening up, millions of jobs need to be filled. So where do businesses run to fill these job roles fast? ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. When you post a job on ZipRecruiter, they send your job to over 100 top job sites, giving you access to their network of millions of job seekers. Their matching technology then scans resumes and finds qualified candidates for your open roles and proactively presents them to you. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. You can even invite your top choices to apply for your job. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ROGAN. Once again, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. This episode is sponsored by CBDMD. The holidays are coming up, and yeah, they're usually a lot of fun, but they can also be pretty stressful too. Shopping, traveling, socializing, and lucky for you, our friends at CBDMD have everything you need to relax, regroup, and recover. Products like CBD Freeze with Menthol. I love this stuff. It's an award-winning gel product that offers instant temporary cooling relief for sore muscles and joints in an easy-to-use roller or squeeze tube. And of course, there's CBD Relieve with lidocaine, fusing CBD MD's hybrid broad-spectrum formula with fast-acting lidocaine to help provide temporary relief for minor aches and pains. And to make it even easier for you to try everything that CBDMD has to offer, they're giving all the listeners of this podcast 25% off your next order when you use the promo code ROGAN at checkout. So once again, that's CBDMD.com, promo code ROGAN for 25% off your purchase of their superior CBD products at CBDMD. This episode is brought to you by Cuts. Cuts is on a mission to create clothes that'll keep the modern man ready for any occasion. You'll never want to wear another t-shirt again, and you'll never have to. That's because Cuts shirts are professional enough for going to the office and comfortable enough for working from home. Take the signature buttery soft Pika Pro Tri-Blend Tee. It's a bold new take on a classic design, combining the ultimate blend of high-quality cotton, polyester, and spandex. GQ magazine calls it the only shirt worth wearing. It's not just a lifestyle. It's not just clothing. It's work leisure apparel for the sport of business. They're fantastic. They feel great, and you can get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/JRE. That's cutsclothing.com/JRE for 15% off the only shirt worth wearing.
Can't wait.
It's what a card that is. Jamie, pull up that card, because this UFC card this weekend is bananas. There's Rose Namajunas versus Zhang Weili, the rematch, which is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Because Rose head kicked her early in the first round and KO'd her in their first fight. And that lady has the weight of China on her back. Like, look at this fucking card. Like, pull up the whole card so we can see it, because it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera. That's a big fight.
Yeah.
Shane Burgos versus Billy Quarantillo.
Yeah.
Quarantillo? I wonder how do you say it. Quarantillo.
I don't know. I like him, though.
Yes. Tough dude. That's a great fight. Shane Burgos is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I think that fight opens up the main card. Yeah, that's the main card first fight, which is nuts. And then
That's
the prelim,
amazing.
Alex Pereira, Cowboy Pereira versus Andreas Michailidis. Al Iaquinta versus Bobby Green. That's a crazy fight. Chris Curtis versus Philip Hawes. Edmund Shabazian. I don't know this dude. Listen to that name. Try say that. Help me out. You
Who,
try.
me?
Yeah, say that one.
I have no idea. I can't do that.
I haven't done my research yet. I'll do my research tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
How you say it, Jamie?
I go Nasordine.
Nasordine
yeah.
Imavov. And then Ian Gary, Jordan Williams. Is that the end? Is that all the prelims, or is there early prelims? Early prelim. Jean Vellante. Scroll all the way up. Chris Barnett. Dustin Jacoby. He's a bad motherfucker. He was in the UFC for a while, and then he went over to Glory. And he had quite a few kickboxing fights.
I don't know these guys.
They're good. If you're going to be on this Madison Square Garden card, it's a wild card.
Yeah.
They always stack that. They stack three big cards every year. One of them is this Madison Square Garden fight. Another one is always the July card, the one that's around July 4th.
The fight, what do they call that? The Fans Week or whatever?
Yeah, the Fan Expo. The UFC Fan Expo. And then, depending upon when they have the card in December, sometimes they have a big New Year's card as well.
So my picks are Chandler
Rose.
Rose.
Over Gaethje. Interesting.
Rose,
It's a good fight.
Colby.
Well, you're friends with Colby.
Yeah. Who was the other one on the main card?
Let's see it again. Well, the first one is Chandler versus Gagey, and then you got Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Chito
Oh,
Vera.
yeah. Right. So I'm going to go Chandler, Billy, Marlon, Rose, Colby.
That main event is a tough fight. It is a tough fight to call.
Yeah.
Because Usman has looked even better. Since beating Colby, you got to realize he beat Jorge Masvidal twice and Gilbert Burns.
Street Judas?
Yeah, twice. He beat him once by decision and then fucking flatlined him in his last fight.
Yeah, but Colby would say he's got 20 losses.
Street Judas?
Yeah.
Well, are you speaking for Colby? And then Colby just ran right through Tyron Woodley. That was a big fight for him.
Yeah.
So that's I think he's the hardest challenge for Usman
Yeah.
because he's got the longest gas tank. His gas tank is crazy. Colby has excellent wrestling, and his striking volume is insane. Like both of these guys, one of the things they both have is they never fade. Both of these guys never fade.
I was impressed with Usman the last time against Colby.
I've been impressed with him every fucking fight of his career.
But
He's a monster.
I figured Colby would put the pressure on and
Mhm.
he'd get more gassed, but
No,
man,
he doesn't.
He's
get
right
gassed.
there.
He's got amazing endurance. His mind is bulletproof. That dude is has serious knee problems, and you never hear a thing about it. Like he can't run. His knees are destroyed. He actually had. They do this particular type. He talked about it on the podcast. There's a particular type of procedure they do where they fracture
The microblade
Yeah.
or micro fracture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do it in the cartilage to try to make the cartilage regrow, and it didn't work. It had the opposite effect. It fucked his knees up worse.
I saw him come. I was watching the Embedded, like everybody does, and I saw him coming down the stairs of a plane, and
Yeah.
he looked like coming back gingerly.
Yeah.
You know, like painful.
hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like me coming downstairs in the morning.
But the thing is, when he fights, he ignores it.
Yeah.
He ignores all that shit. And he openly said, listen, I know I'm going to get my knees replaced when I'm done fighting. He goes, so for now, I just go hard.
I think he's like I saw him talking about fighting Canelo.
That's interesting. That's kind of...
That was today.
I get that he would want to do that for the money. But if an MMA fighter wants to fight Canelo, really they should say, come over to MMA, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I
what
mean,
they should
straight
say.
boxing against Canelo, it's tough.
Yeah. Well, Canelo's fighting at the same night. you know.
Yeah.
He's fighting Caleb Plant, which is one of the more interesting fights that's available for Canelo, other than the Triple G rematch, the rubber match with Triple G. I think this Caleb Plant character is slick. He's a very
Does he have
good
a chance?
boxer. He's got a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, Canelo's the favorite. Because if you look at his resume, Canelo has a much better resume in terms of like the guys he's beaten. That's where it matters, right? Because Caleb Plant is super skillful, and he's a legit world champion. But he has not faced the level of opposition that Canelo has faced.
Right.
Doesn't mean he can't win, but you know, Billy Joe Saunders also looked like a world beater before he fought Canelo.
Right.
And then Canelo crushed his face.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably retired him. I mean, you ever see the pictures of Billy Joe Saunders' face?
No.
When they, oh my God, when they talk
mess.
about, they showed an image of his skull or a skull
Yeah.
and all the areas that were repaired on his face. And there's just plate here, plate
Really?
here. Yeah.
After the fight?
His orbital was shattered.
Oh.
His cheekbones were shattered. I think the way the cheekbone connects to the upper jaw was cracked.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at all that shit. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy? So the orbital, see that stuff in the back of his eye?
Yeah.
The bone that's like the shelf that holds the eyeball in got crushed.
Oh my God.
So they have to go in and they put all these plates underneath where the eyeball sits. And then on the outside, on the upper left side of the eyeball, that's cracked. The lower side's cracked. And then look how the cheekbone's cracked all the way down to the upper jaw. And then the upper jaw on the where the hinge is cracked. I mean, his whole face got fucking caved in.
God, and that's with those big boxing gloves. I
Crazy.
mean, how amazing is that? That's power.
It was also perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because Canelo has ridiculous power, but his timing was perfect. He caught Billy Joe leaning down, and he uppercutted him as he was leaning down. So it was the force of the lean down along with the force of the uppercut, and his face just exploded.
Did that end the fight?
Yeah, that ended the fight.
Yeah.
They stopped it in between rounds. He knew something was severely wrong with his face.
Yeah, his skull was in tatters.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's crazy fucking sport, man. And
Yeah.
Canelo, the thing about Canelo is so interesting to me is that Canelo's a big puncher, but he's also really skillful defensively. That's usually not the case. Usually those big punchers, they kind of wade in and they throw bombs, and they're concentrating so hard on connecting with a big shot that they don't have like the sort of defensive skills that like a Floyd Mayweather has,
Right.
who's the best defensive fighter ever in my opinion.
Yeah.
But when he fought Floyd, I think he had such a hard time hitting Floyd that he realized like, oh, I got to develop these kind of skills. Then if you see Canelo, like when he fought Danny Jacobs, and he's fought in the second fight with Triple G too, like he developed these kind of defensive skills that he never had before.
Yeah.
And they keep getting better. So now he's like one of the best defensive fighters in the world, and
crazy
also
power.
one of the best offensive fighters in the world. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that up is because Kamaru's definitely talking about he just wants a big money fights now.
Yeah,
So,
I get that. Well, he's probably like a year away from a knee replacement.
yeah,
I mean,
right.
if you watched him walk downstairs like that,
I know.
Michael Bisping had both his knees replaced once he retired.
Yeah, I mean,
Same shit.
And his his eye's not replaced, but it's fake.
Yeah, he has like a contact that he puts in that makes it look.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But I've seen him pop it out.
I have too.
It's
Gnarly.
incredible.
It's
Yeah,
gnarly.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, my point was, if Kamaru starts, I was wondering if he's thinking about like the money. So you know that what's the saying is the wolf climbing the hill is always hungrier than the wolf on top of the hill, something like that. So I mean, you know, Colby's still trying to get up there. Kamaru's been up there. Do you lose that hunger a little bit?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not with that guy.
Yeah.
I think at the championship level, like the true champions, and I think Kamaru is like a champion of champions. I think he's in this all-time great category. Like let's imagine this fight is not taking place right now, and you're not comparing him with Colby. You just look at what he's done so far and his skill level. I think you got a real argument that he is right now the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. If you look at what his accomplishments are. One loss ever in his entire mixed martial arts career, has run through everyone in his division, including winning the title over a dominant Tyron Woodley, 5-round rout, just destroyed him. Has beat him pillar to post every round. And then you look at his fights with Masvidal, you look at his fight with Colby, you look at his fight with Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is a dangerous man, and he put him away. And Gilbert hurt him. He hurt him in the first round. Kamaru recovered and smashed him. Knocked out Masvidal with one punch in the second fight. He's a real argument that he's the best guy in the sport.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to see him challenged, you would want a guy who's got killer wrestling, that's Colby, amazing gas tank, that's Colby, unstoppable mentality, that's Colby, and a guy who's been in there with him and knows what adjustments to make.
Right.
You know, I think, you know, when Masvidal took that first fight, he took the first fight on short notice.
Yeah,
and
6 days.
he had some good moments in the fight, but ultimately he fell prey to Usman's conditioning, you know, and Usman had said the reason why he was willing to fight me then was because he had a built-in excuse.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is interesting, because
Yeah.
that would have fucked with a man's head.
Yeah.
You call him a journeyman, and you know
Yeah.
that fucks with a guy's head. Like
Yeah.
the difference in the accomplishments of the two are very different. Like Masvidal obviously has that giant Ben Askren knockout, and he beat up Nate Diaz in that fight. And
Yeah.
Masvidal's a bad motherfucker and a very clever fighter. He's one of my favorite guys to watch fight because he's so intelligent. But Usman just demolished him in that
Yeah.
second fight. Demolished him. That's
Yeah.
what separates like very good fighters from all-time greats.
And he had a full camp that time.
Yeah.
Masvidal did.
Didn't help.
No.
It actually helped him less. Like he was better, but I think Usman's better than he was before.